Hello, welcome to this video. Today we're going to cover some formulas for the TSI. We're going to see a few important formulas that are required for you to know in order to answer a lot of questions. Okay, so we're going to start with the first one. Okay, so this is the first problem. Well, or some examples that you were going to see. So if you're given 2 points, what is the slope of the line? Okay, so they're gonna give you 2 points just like that. And the first thing that I notice when they're giving me 2 points in a problem and they're not giving me anything else and they're asking for the slope, I think of this formula right here, the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I have this example right here for so I can work on it so you guys can see how to use it. So for example here, I'm going to first of all name these 2 points my y's and my x's. So for example, this is going to be this is x, this is y, this is x, and this is y. So this can happen to either or of the two coordinates, ordered pairs, or however you want to call them. So this is, for example, is going to be my x1 and my y1, and this is going to be my x2 and my y2. So if you want this one to be x2 and this one to be y2, this is also something that can happen. So let's work on it. So here we're going to put these values. We're going to put these values into the formula. So we're just gonna draw a line right here, and I'm gonna start with my y's. So this is my y2. I know it's a 2, so I'm gonna put 2, and then there's a minus. That's part of the formula. So y2, the y2 is 2 minus the y1, which is 3. Then my x's, which is going to be my x2, is going to be 8 minus my x1, which is 1. So here I would just do everything. I would subtract here. 2 minus 3 is a -1 over 8 minus 1 is 7. So here I see that there's nothing else that I can do. There's no way I can simplify this. So I'm just going to keep it like this. Since this equals to m, then m equals to -1 over 7. So the whole thing becomes negative since I have a negative and a positive. So if you see this type of questions and they're giving you 2 points, you're just going to use this formula. So this is the second formula that you will need. This is the point slope formula, and is this one right here. So this formula actually helps you get the whole equation of the line when you are only given a slope and a coordinate. So, and if you look closely to the into this into this formula, you have a y and then you have minus y1 and equals to m over open parentheses and x minus x1. So you're probably wondering why are there why is there a y1 and an x1? So what it means is just the x1 and the y1 is for the coordinates. So we will have our x and we will have our y, and this will be the x and y ones, and the y's from the equation and the x's they all remain the same. So basically what you need to do is just input all of these values into this formula, and with this you can get the whole equation of the line. And you want the line and you want the equation to be in the y equals mx plus b form. So let's just get to it. So let's evaluate, or let's replace everything, all the x1s or x2s and slope into this equation. So it is going to be y minus y1, which is a 2. right over here. And the minus is part of the formula. So it's right here. And then that equals 2m, which is 3. And that we're going to multiply it by x. We're gonna open parentheses and then x, and that minus from the equation. And then we're going to look for our x1, which is a 1. And then we start simplifying this. So the 3, since you cannot do anything inside the parentheses, you're going to distribute the 3 into both things. So here it would be a 3x minus 1 equals to y minus 2. And since you want everything and sorry, it's this number is a 3, a negative 3. And since you want everything in the y equals mx plus b form, you have to isolate the y. So for example here, the y, you should move the 2 in order for the y to be alone on one side. So here you would add 2. So you would be left off with y equals 3x, and then negative 3 and a positive 2, that's a negative 1. And this is your equation. Y equals 3x minus 1. So if you graph this equation right here, you will see that this is this line will have a slope of 3, and it will pass it will pass those coordinates over here. So if you graph it, if you go to the calculator and you go up 1 and then move 2 to the left, you're gonna see that it touches directly in that coordinate. So this is the third formula or thing that you should know, which is the standard formula, which is the ax plus by equals to c. And here we have an example. So every time they give you an equation, and for example this one that I have right here, so if they give you 4y equals to 2x plus 4, and they ask you to write it in the ax plus by equals to c or standard form, well, what you should do is you need to basically move everything like variables to one side and the constant to one side, which is c. The numbers by itself are constants, and the numbers with the x or the y are, well, the numbers with the variables go in one side, and the constant or the number by itself goes in the other side. So for example here, since we want ax plus by equal to c, we're going to put this equation into standard form. 4y equals to 2x plus 4. So we're going to, since we only have one constant here and nothing more on the other side, so I'm just going to leave 4 there. And then I'm going to move the 2 into the other side. And then since we are adding here, since there's addition right here, I'm going to subtract the 2x and move it over to the other side. So we are going to have negative 2x plus 4y equals to a 4. So, and here you would think that you are done, but a, or this number a, can never be negative. So what I'm gonna do is just a trick. So I'm going to multiply this whole thing by a negative 1. Since I have a negative right here, I'm gonna multiply everything, and whatever I do on one side I must do to the other. So I will multiply this number also by a negative 1. So here I would have, since this is negative, I'm going to multiply by a negative 1 again. So it's going to be 2x minus, because negative 1 times positive 4y is going to be minus 4y, and that will equal to a negative 4. And with this, you are basically done. This is how you, this is standard form. Here we see a is with the x, or it is first, like, then b or by is right here, and then the constant is on the other side. C equals to negative 4, and that's how you put an equation or any equation into standard form, any linear equation into standard form. So this is the fourth equation that is very important to know for basically algebra in general, and well, for this test, because you're going to need it. So this is the quadratic formula. This is the x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. When I say all over, it's literally, yeah, just like this. So x is equal to a negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So you're probably wondering, why b, why a, and why c? So that's pretty easy. So first of all, we have this weird equation, and first we need to put it in an order. We need to set the equation equal to 0 in order for us to input the values into the equation. So here we would just, since we have a 3x squared minus x minus 44 equal to 12, we need the number after the equal to be 0. So what we would do is we would just subtract 12 from here, the 12 from here, so we would be left off with a negative, combined with a negative, combined, so we're just adding, right? So, or subtracting, however you want to call it. We're just combining the 44 and the 12, and we're just keeping the sign. So here, 44 and 12 is going to be 56. It's a negative 56x minus the 3x. And now that it equals to 0, I'm going to tell you why there's a, b, and c. So the number, oh, I forgot the squares. So the number with the square, with the x squared, or any variable that is squared, like that follows this order, so it is going to be, the number is going to be the a. The number that is with the x by itself, or x to the 1, is going to be our b. And the number by itself is going to be our c. So now we're ready to, we know the values. So a equals to a 3, b equals to a negative 1, because it's a negative x, so there's an imaginary 1 right here, and c equals to negative 56. So it's time to evaluate, or just input the values into the equation. So here we would do x is equal to a negative b. So the negative is part of the equation, so it's a negative b, and then we input the value of b, which is a negative 1, plus or minus, so it's a plus or minus the square root of b again, so it's going to be a negative 1, but this time the b is going to be squared, minus, following 4. 4 is part of the formula. You always have to have the 4. And this 4 is going to be multiplied by the a, which is a 3. And then it's going to be, you're going to multiply that by C, which is a negative 56. And all of this over 2 times A, which is a 3. And since this takes too much time and there's not a lot of time for the video, I'm just going to leave it like that. You can just go ahead and try it yourself. You're just gonna move everything. You're gonna calculate everything yourself and then just divide. So here you would see that it's a positive 1, so plus or minus the square root of 1 minus 4, so that's 12, and then the 12 minus negative 56, and that over 6. And well, thank you for watching the video. I hope that these formulas help you a lot, and well, thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button and subscribe, and thank you very much.